Hi everyone and welcome to Tozan Tips. Tozan Tips. I recently took a trip back to Kamikochi, and today I'd like to share a few tips that I learned to make your trip and planning a little bit smoother. First, bring money. That's right, cash is still king in Kamikochi. While a lot of hotels do accept credit cards, most of the shops that you'll encounter, all of the restaurants and the food and the hot spring, only take cash, as well as some of the mountain huts up in the higher elevations. Strictly deal with cash, so make sure you bring enough yen with you to sustain you on your trip. There are no ATMs in Kamikochi Valley, so you do need to plan accordingly. Second, be prepared for crowds. That's right, Kamikochi is one of the most popular sightseeing spots in Nagano and in Japan. And it gets very, very crowded, especially on weekends and during the Yobon holiday and the autumn holidays in September and October. So if you want to avoid the crowds, try to come during the weekday and also mentally prepare yourself for the crowds that you will see. The majority of the crowds stay near the Kappabashi Bridge and the actual valley between Taisho-ike and Myoji-nike. So if you want to escape the crowds, please go further from there. The further you get from Kamikochi, the better the crowds will be. If you want to avoid all people and buses and hotels and the craziness, you can also come in winter. Everything's closed in Kamikochi in the winter, but you can snowshoe in from the road and snowshoe along the road and get to Kappabashi Bridge and enjoy the snow scenery. You do have to watch out for avalanches on the road, especially near Taisho-ike. So please take care. I plan to go to Kamikochi this winter sometime for snowshoeing, so I'll share my results with you in a future video. Third tip, beware of thieves. No, I'm not talking about people who will steal your valuables. I'm talking about the crows and the macaques. Be very careful of them. Recently, there have been a lot of crow activity in Kamikochi, and they will sweep down and steal your food while you're eating. So if you're eating along the riverbank, or especially in front of Myojin hut there on the main trail, do be careful. Crows will sit in the trees. As soon as you break out your bread or your rice ball, they'll come down and they'll snatch it directly from your hands. Same thing with the macaques. Although the macaques are a little bit less aggressive, don't feed the animals, as you probably know, but don't get too close to the macaques, especially if you have any food in your hands. Also, you do have to be careful of your hiking boots when you stay in mountain huts. I do have a friend, about 10 years ago, their trekking boots were stolen from lodge while they were sleeping. When they woke up the next morning, they couldn't find their boots, and that caused a lot of trouble. So a lot of huts now will make you put your name, a name tag on your shoes. If you have valuable hiking shoes that you are concerned about, just sleep with them. Take them with you into your sleeping quarters and keep them with you. Consider them one of your valuables if you're concerned about that. The fourth tip I'd like to share today, book your return bus ticket. That's right, the buses in Kamikochi now are reservation only. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, you could just kind of show up and jump on any bus. But now you need to plan in advance. You can do two things. One, you can book online. There's a website called Japan Bus Online, and you'll be able to book actually in English. You can book your ticket both to Kamikochi and from Kamikochi. To get to Kamikochi by bus, there's a direct bus from Matsumoto Station. It doesn't require you to transfer anywhere. You can go straight from Matsumoto Bus Terminal straight to Kamikochi. It takes about 2 hours. It's only 2 buses a day. So if you want to do that, you can book online, or you can go to the bus counter in Matsumoto. Returning back from Kamikochi to Matsumoto, you can't buy the ticket in Matsumoto. You got to buy the ticket in Kamikochi from the bus ticket counter, or you can book online. A word of note from personal experience, if you book online, everything is an e-ticket, so you actually need to, before you board the bus, you need to go onto the website, log in, pull up your ticket and show it to the bus. This is a concern if your battery dies when you're in the mountains or you don't have Wi-Fi, you're not going to be able to show the bus ticket. So paper ticket is probably the best bet. So you can buy a paper ticket directly from Matsumoto bus terminal to Kamikochi. In Kamikochi, if you go to the bus terminal, as soon as you get off the bus, go to the bus terminal and book your ticket for the next day or the following day, or however many days you're going to stay in Kamikochi. They'll give you a paper ticket, and that'll be much easier because then you can board the bus from Kamikochi to Matsumoto with that ticket. There's no direct bus to Matsumoto. You've got to change at Shin Shimashima station. So take the bus from Kamikochi to Shin Shimashima, show that paper ticket to get on the train, and then when you get to Matsumoto station, you can use that paper ticket to leave the station. Otherwise, you've got to fuddle around and make sure that you have Wi-Fi access to actually pull up your ticket and show it to them. I would recommend if you do that, take a screenshot. That should hopefully work just as well as showing your live ticket. The final tip I'd like to share with you today about Kamikochi is what I call the Alpine Paradox. So ideally you want to come to Kamikochi during a beautiful, clear weather day, just like this. But there is a big downside to coming and climbing on a clear day, and that is helicopter noise. All the mountain huts in the alpine area of Kamikochi, surrounding Kamikochi, all of those mountain huts use helicopters to deliver supplies and to take supplies away, and clear weather is the only chance that the helicopters have to fly up there. So if you're hiking under the blue sky and the beautiful mountain scenery, be prepared for So this is the thing that they don't really tell you about in the tourist literature. So if you come on a day like this, where it's cloudy, overcast, maybe even raining slightly, it's going to be very, very peaceful and very, very quiet. Sure, you won't be able to see anything in the mountains, but you'll be able to enjoy the clear solitude in the mountains in Japan. So it's a paradox. Do I come on a day like this and deal with the noise, or do I come on a day like this and have peace and quiet? So that's it. Those are just a few of the tips that I learned on my most recent trip to Kamikochi. If you're planning a trip to Kamikochi, keep these things in mind. If you're looking for specific hikes that you can do from Kamikochi, I highly recommend that you buy this guidebook, the one that I co-authored with Tom Fay. It covers all of the northern, central, and southern Alps, and there's a huge section about Kamikochi and some of the hikes that you can do from there with detailed trail information. Please consider purchasing this book to have a better experience in the mountains of Kamikochi. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching the latest episode of Tozan Tips. When you're in the mountains, stay safe and smart. Thanks for watching.